A Corpus Christi business did their part for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Painting with a Twist held an event for people to come out and have some fun painting. Well, half of the proceeds are going straight to the cause, which touched the hearts of many like Linda Hickok and Marissa Vetta. The mother and daughter say they were happy with the amount of support at the event, especially since they struggled with the disease.
Somebody's affected by some sort of cancer in their family, and to see people be supportive, I think that is where we bring more awareness to it so that people can at least get tested, and the earlier you can detect it, your survival rate usually goes up.
After learning that her mother had breast cancer, Vetta says she wanted to get tested for the disease. However, doctors didn't want to test her at first because they thought she was too young, but did test her. They discovered she also had the disease. The mother and daughter strongly encouraged women to get tested and wanted to leave a message of hope for those who are diagnosed.
And don't give up hope. Yeah, especially when you're going through it. If you're diagnosed with it, keep the hope alive.
The two women are an example that surviving is possible. Vetta says next year she will be cancer-free for nearly a decade.